So I do just a basic, easy calculation. Okay, what's the fundamental value? What's the true value of an ounce of gold for its most important function? And in my opinion, the most important function is to hold your wealth, your purchasing power even. Does many other things,
sure,
but that's the most important function. So if I know for an absolute fact that the true value of an ounce of gold is $50,000, then quite honestly, I haven't really spent 50,000 on a coin, but I'm just saying, I do know that the minimum fundamental value of an ounce of gold is 50 grand. So if I spend anything less than that, and it's on even a high collectible, my bet is hedged.
You described Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies as almost like an ideal training ground for, so why would the US government allow, such freedom of owning cryptocurrencies competitive to the US dollar? Well, because this is an ideal training ground to train the public to become accustomed to a digital currency so that when they roll out their government issued digital currency, we already understand how they function. Whereas if we were just hit with this cold turkey, moving from paper money to a government issued digital currency, we'd all be like, well, I don't understand this. What is this garbage, right? Like, I don't.
Here's change. Oh
yes.
My goodness. Because one thing they knew, and that you did it great. One thing they knew when they set up this whole system is that, people marry the legal money of the state. And so what they say in their documents, so I'm not making this up, this is what they say in their documents, anybody can read them, is that they need to keep the new currency as close to the norm that people are used to as possible. And that's what happened in 1971, right? And if you look at the bills, they look really identical. It's very subtle. So people did not know of the change. Now, I think it's coincidental that in 1996, the NSA did a white paper, government agency, did a white paper on how to create a mint, outlining how to develop the cryptocurrencies and the market. Then in 90, I think it was 7 or 8, there was a peer review paper on smart contracts. Bitcoin came out in January of 2000, and I've been watching it since it was $7. One of my clients said, hey, look at this. So Bitcoin came out in January of 2009. What else? Where were we in this trend cycle? The system died in 2008. Hello, it died. Right? And then in March of 2009, the Federal Reserve began this next major experiment in quantitative easing, which is just massive money printing to massively devalue the currency. Is that a coincidence? I don't really believe in coincidences, if you want to know the truth. So yeah, that is my opinion of it. And I will say the people that buy the cryptocurrencies and the people that buy the gold have a very similar mindset. They're really unhappy with what they're seeing, and they want a decentralized private place to hold wealth. I get that, and I really do get that. But I don't think you're very private with Bitcoin, because what do? When you open an account, don't you have to give them your name, address, social security number? And they were supposed to not be able to, on the blockchain, that was supposed to be a permanent transaction. And yet recently, haven't we seen some money being clawed back by the government in Bitcoin from people that had taken it? So that means that's not really true, right? It's not immutable. They can claw it back. So it's not private. It is decentralized, except that it has to go over computer systems. And the IMF did a piece, it was like 2017, AC chain tied. This is a new, bear with me here. I'm going back in my memory here for a second.
Yeah.
But they came out with a new cryptocurrency, and their currency was tied to Bitcoin and then went through these nodes. And one of the nodes was that it went through the IMF. Now in another paper, and it converted into an SDR. right? So when it was matched with their coin was matched with Ethereum or Bitcoin, then it turned into an SDR, and it went through the IMF node. Now, they had a paper on the IMF had a paper on how every title to every asset would be held in digital form, and then it would be broken down into itty bitty pieces. And if you're holding all of your data and all of your wealth on a phone, which makes it super easy to spend, and you are inspired to buy that boat, and you have equity in your house on your flipping phone, that will inspire you to spend your equity. And before you know it, you will own nothing and you will be happy.